invite you to relax into this sacred time and sacred space that you have created for yourself. I invite you to fully immerse yourself in this radical act of self-love, to step into your power, to become your own healer, your own shaman. So make yourself comfortable. Take a few deep breaths to prepare yourself for the journey ahead. And dive into this deep medicine of the imagination. Closing your eyes and bringing your awareness into the here and now, into this time and into this place. Into your body and into your breath. Because this is time for you. It's time to be, time to rest, relax, release, and recharge. Okay, so at the moment I can kind of see almost like a spiraling tunnel in front of me. I can see this swirl of energy going round in a spiral right in front of me. This is not an image that I've seen before, so I'm just kind of waiting for it to unfold and give some sense of meaning. Or okay, big deep breath. We're sinking into the journey now. Allies, what do you have to show me? Okay, so I'm being kind of shown, or the thing that's coming to mind as I watch this spiraling energy in front of me is that it looks like a whirlpool. Or when water goes down the plug hole, it's got that kind of swirling, watery look to it. Tell me, what is this whirlpool? Okay, so I can see that the whirlpool is made up of both blue energy and also white energy. And so the spiral, the swirling spiral that I can see is both blue and white, flowing down this plug hole in front of me. Now, blue energy, when I see blue energy, this is unhelpful, negative energy. White energy is generally light, bright, life-filled, positive energy. And so it's almost like this combination of the white and the blue. It's almost like the white is pulling the blue energy down the plug hole. It's like it's being washed away, really. When you let the water out of the bath, all the water drains away, doesn't it? And it swirls around in the plug hole when it gets down lowish. And all the muck that you've scrubbed off in the bath gets taken down with the water. This is the sense that I'm getting, that this swirling water is part of the cleaning process of the water. Okay, so I'm being told that this transmission is kind of like a direct continuation. It's the next part. It's part 2 of the previous transmission, where we had the flood energy washing away the old, washing away the structures of the old, but very much focusing on the living ancestors and the experience of the living ancestors. It was ancestral healing for the living, so clearing the patterns of the old and outdated structures, which were the systems and the structures and the patterns of our deceased ancestors, in order to clean away all of that unhelpful stuff for the benefit of the living ancestors. So now, that was part 1 of the ancestral healing, and now part 2, we can see that flood of water that was washing away the unhelpful structures, really, it's just draining it all away now. It's draining away the unhelpful blue energy, and it's being kind of pushed along or swept along by the white watery energy of this element of water, really. Okay, so we've got the continuation. Really this is I guess this is kind of showing the end of the flood, isn't it, as the water drains away. The flood happened in part 1, and in part 2 we're watching the flood pulling the remnants of the muck down the plug hole. Okay, what else do you have to show me, please, allies? Seeing now what I think is a serpent. At first I thought it was a dragon, but I think it's a serpent. Okay, it's definitely a serpent now. I can see its body and its head were curving around in a big circle in front of me, and now its head is coming straight towards me. It's opening its mouth, it's got its fangs out, it's a viper, and it's about to swallow me. So this is an image that I see quite regularly. Serpent is one of my main allies, and this is the image that I see when I'm doing what is called a dismemberment journey, a shamanic dismemberment journey. And this viper is an aspect of serpent which is all about consuming you as you currently are in order to transform and transmute you and strip out any unhelpful energy, any unhelpful patterns, any unhelpful structures that you are carrying within yourself, and in order to be kind of pooped out the other end of the snake in a new format. Or perhaps we will become the snake and shed the skins off that way and emerge shiny and bright and new. But the image that I was just seeing there of the serpent, the viper, opening its jaws wide in order to swallow me, this is very much about personal transformation, actually. Personal transformation. But I'm also very aware that we set out in this transmission with the intention of doing ancestral healing for the ancestors who have come before us. And so it feels like this dismemberment journey is focusing on you as the individual, on you in the here and now. But the purpose of this dismemberment is to clear out the ancestral patterns. So again, it's a bit like the water in the flood in the last transmission, washing away those structures of the old. You know, here we have a different ally coming to do a very similar thing, really, to transform and transmute the structures of the old. Now, one of the great gifts of serpent is to transmute poisons, okay? And because we think of snakes, you know, there are a fair amount of toxic, poisonous, deadly snakes, aren't there? And so one of the sacred medicines of serpent is to be able to transmute poisons, to transmute toxicity. And I think it's fair to say we live in an extremely toxic world where there are plenty of toxins swirling around all over the place, and we consume and absorb those toxins on a regular basis. And so this is one of the aspects that I'm being told that serpent is helping us with at this time, is to transmute the poisons of our environment that we carry in our bodies. But it's also to transmute and to release, transform and clear the toxins and the poisons that have been passed down to us from our ancestors. And these can be in very physiological ways, or they can be on energetic levels, such as emotional patterns, mental patterns, spiritual patterns. And so really what we're being given here is the opportunity to transmute anything and everything that is poisonous or toxic to us through this process of shamanic dismemberment. And this includes anything that we're carrying with us from our ancestral lines. Serpent is also carries the medicine of death, change, transformation and rebirth. And again, this is very relevant to ancestral healing, because, you know, if we look at the generational process of our ancestral lines, it is a constant process of death, transformation, rebirth, growing, evolving, dying, transforming, rebirth. You know, we, through this process of our ancestral lineage, we as ancestors are constantly dying and birthing and dying and birthing and dying and birthing. It is an ever a lasting, ongoing process of life and death, isn't it? And so it feels like serpent has come to assist us in that transformation process, and I would say also evolution process, because, you know, this is another thing that is perhaps one of the benefits of that genealogy, you know, that lineage-based progression, is that through each generation we adapt to our environment, or ideally we adapt to our environment. You know, you could say that this is the working model of the process of evolution. If we adapt to our environmental changes or factors or challenges, then we survive, and if we don't adapt, then we die. And so it feels like serpent is coming to help us with this transformative evolutionary progression. Yeah, this is about evolution into our current environment. And so letting go of the patterns, the genetic dispositions, the the energetic experience that we have come from. And you know, this is about mutation ultimately, isn't it? That's what evolution is about. It's evolving mutations and adaptations to benefit us in our changing environment. And I think it's fair to say that we have never had changes in our environment that have been quite so dramatic. Perhaps that's not true. I suppose you could class things as ice ages and stuff like that as fairly dramatic changes in the environment. However, I would say that, you know, we are living in very fast changing times, and both in terms of our culture, our politics, our power structures, our financial structures, our state and nation-based structures, as well as our environmental structures. You know, they are all changing very fast, and we, in order to survive those changes, we have to keep up with that. We have to mutate ourselves, we have to evolve ourselves. And this is what I'm being told is the gift of serpent at this time. It's the gift of evolution. It's the gift of evolution. And so often serpent also comes as an ally for genetic healing, the healing of the DNA strands. So evolution of the DNA, mutation of the DNA in a positive and beneficial manner. And I contextualize that with the backdrop of things that are being done in technological innovations currently, which are about genetic mutations which are not beneficial and are actually disadvantageous to human beings as we currently stand. You know, let's talk about the fact that there are technologies afoot which are specifically designed to change our human genetic makeup, to effectively genetically modify us for the purposes of being able to control us, sterilize us, depopulate us, create interferences with digital technology in order to manipulate us and control us emotionally, mentally, biologically. This is the backdrop that we are currently living with. And this is no exaggeration. If you do a bit of research into the projects that are funded by Bill Gates, that are funded by DARPA, that are funded by NASA, that are funded by Elon Musk, there are plenty of examples of where the human genome is being intentionally manipulated against our benefit, to our detriment. And so this healing transmission seems to be about the gift of a genetic mutation in order to actually advance us, in order to benefit us, because my spiritual healing allies do not do anything to harm or to hurt or to disempower. They are here to help and to heal and to empower and to assist. And it's long been spoken about, foretold, prophesied that we are coming into a time, an age, an epoch where human DNA can and will evolve to actually maximize the gifts and the skills and the talents that we do have available to us, that we are destined to come into a time where our human capacities expand and evolve in really powerful ways that are beneficial to us. And so with this in mind, you know, this feels like a transmission which is taking us from the distant past of our ancestral genetic coding. And as this serpent swallows us, it is both cleaning and clearing out the old patterns, but it's also changing and transforming us, evolving us, in order for us to be rebirthed into more fully functional humans with a greater capacity to exist with a greater potential, both individually and collectively on this planet. Okay, thank you, Serpent, for all of that information about why you've come and what you are bringing, what your medicine is for us at this time. And remember that, you know, during these healing transmissions, as I am talking, I'm not only giving you information, but as I'm giving that information, the allies who are coming are actually doing the healing work. They are, that is the active part of the transmission. The information is just to contextualize for you, to help you to understand what the actual healing is that's going on within your energy field as I'm speaking. Okay, is there anything else that you have for us today, please, allies? I'm being told no, that is all for today, but I'm also being given some information from the Serpent to say that this transmission needs to be listened to repeatedly and regularly, that it is not just a one-off, listen to it once and never again. This needs to be done on a regular basis, because this upgrading, this is the word I'm being given, this upgrading of our genetic sequencing, the upgrading of our DNA, the upgrading of our energy field, the upgrading of our bodies, the upgrading of our capacity, the upgrading of our energy field needs to be done little and often, in increments, in stages. They can't upgrade us all at once. It needs to be done in stages, and you know, the assistance that Serpent gives us is that there is definitely a fast tracking to this process, that this upgrading is going to happen to everybody ultimately in the bigger scheme of things, in the bigger picture of our evolution upon planet Earth and our ascension of both planet Earth and our presence upon her, but that Serpent is bringing this gift of evolution to help us to evolve more quickly, but it's best done little and often. So do this transmission, listen to this transmission regularly. It is medicine to be taken on a regular basis. Okay, I'm being told that that is it for now. Thank you to all of my healing allies who've come and helped us in this healing work today. Thank you for the healing. Thank you for the healing. Thank you for the healing. And now, taking a few deep breaths. Coming back into this time and back into this place. Back into your body and back into your breath. Giving your fingers a little wiggle, giving your toes a little wiggle, and stretching yourself out to return to the here and now. And I look forward to taking another soul journey with you soon. Lots of love, Joanna Joy.